Have you ever realized that much of your pain doesn't come from what's happening around you, but from the endless stories spinning in your mind? It's not the present moment that overwhelms you. It's the storm of thoughts, the overthinking, the regrets, the fears, the endless reruns of the past and imagined futures. You wait for peace as if it's a distant visitor who will someday arrive at your door. But the truth, as taught by the Buddha, is far simpler and closer. Peace isn't hiding in some distant tomorrow. It is here, quietly waiting for you to stop running. When you stop chasing and worrying, something profound happens. Life stops rushing past you unnoticed. Suddenly, the air feels fresh against your skin. You can hear the soft rhythm of your own heart. For the first time in a long time, you are truly alive. Because real life does not begin when the pieces fall perfectly into place. Real life begins the moment you loosen your grip, stop trying to control everything, and simply let go. 1. The present moment is where life truly happens. Whenever worry takes hold, our minds drift far from where life is actually unfolding. Thoughts pull us into the future, where fears grow wild, or drag us backward into a past we can no longer change. These thoughts act like restless travelers, constantly moving between places we can never touch. But the present, this breath, this heartbeat, this fleeting moment, is the only home we ever truly have. In Buddhist wisdom, all freedom, joy, and clarity are not treasures waiting in a distant future or hidden in a memory. They are right here, woven into the fabric of this very moment. The more we feed our anxieties, the further we drift from this truth. And the more we drift, the more lost and uneasy we feel, as if trying to savor a delicious meal while our mind keeps wandering to tomorrow's menu. We miss what is right in front of us. When we are consumed by what might be or what once was, we miss the simple beauty of what is. Each time our thoughts spiral into fear or regret, we trade the richness of life for empty thinking. Picture this. You stand beside a gentle river. The water flows softly, trees sway with the breeze, and birds sing their quiet songs. But your eyes are fixed on your phone, scrolling through old messages, planning for a future that hasn't come. The river flows, the world breathes, but you are absent. This is the cost of worry. It blinds us to the peace that already surrounds us. But here's the gift. The moment you notice this, you can return. You can come back to the now, not through force, but through gentle awareness. By feeling your breath, noticing the weight of your body, or hearing the sounds around you, you reconnect with reality. You don't need to solve everything or erase every regret to find calm. You only need to come home to this moment. And in this space, where fear grows quiet and regret fades, something soft and beautiful emerges. A quiet joy, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer lost in what isn't. This is the miracle of presence. This is where real life waits, where peace was always available, if only we had paused long enough to feel it. 2. Worry, the mind's illusion of control. At its heart, worry is the mind's way of trying to grasp what it can never truly hold. When life feels uncertain, when health wavers, when the future feels like mist, when relationships shift, the mind scrambles to create a sense of control. It whispers, if I think through every possibility, perhaps I can stop something bad from happening. And so worry is born, not from real and present danger, but from the mind's longing for certainty in a world that is forever changing. But here is the quiet truth. Most of what unfolds in life lies beyond our control. We cannot predict how others will act. We cannot script tomorrow. We cannot shape each outcome to match our hopes. And no amount of anxious thought can promise safety or guarantee success. That is the paradox. While we believe worry keeps us safe, it only binds us tighter to fear and drains our strength, offering no real control at all. In the teachings of the Buddha, this endless striving to control comes from attachment, from our deep yearning for life to unfold in a certain way. We cling to specific outcomes, believing our peace depends on them. And when the world, as it always does, shifts in unexpected ways, we resist. That resistance is what deepens our suffering. We think we are protecting ourselves, but we are only feeding our anxiety and pulling ourselves further from the gentle current of life. True freedom, as Buddhism reminds us, isn't found in trying to bend the river to our will. It is found in learning to float, to move with the flow rather than against it. When we stop demanding certainty and instead focus on right action, on doing what is wise and kind in this moment, we release the tight grip that worry has on us. We step out of the world of imagined terrors and return to the simplicity of now. Picture this. You stand at a crossroads, facing an important choice. Your mind swirls with doubts. What if I choose wrong? What if I fail? What if everything falls apart? But these thoughts, while loud, solve nothing. They only scatter your energy and cloud your vision. Now imagine another way. You take a slow, steady breath. You choose the path that feels most true, and then you let go. You allow life to unfold, knowing you will meet what comes with courage. That is not surrender. That is strength. That is wisdom. To worry is to battle the waves, splashing and struggling until exhaustion claims you. But the waves do not stop. To let go is to float, not because the sea has grown calm, but because you have. Worry arises when we try to control what was never ours to control. Peace begins the instant we understand this and choose trust instead. Not trust in a flawless future, but trust in our ability to face whatever arises with clarity, steadiness, and compassion. The aim is not to erase uncertainty. The aim is to become someone who no longer fears it. 3. All that you fear is fleeting by its very nature. One of the most freeing insights from the Buddha's teachings is this: nothing remains as it is forever. Every feeling that rises within you, every anxious thought, every shadow of fear, every ache of the heart, all of it appears, lingers for a time, and then, as surely as it came, fades away. Yet when we are caught in fear's tight embrace, it's hard to see this truth. In those moments, worry feels endless. The heaviness seems unshakable, as if it will press on us forever. But this is the illusion created by the mind, the illusion that says this storm, this unease, this not knowing will never pass. But life is always moving, whether or not we see it. The very thing you fear today is already beginning to shift. The problem that feels stuck is already loosening its grip. Even when the world around you appears still, deep beneath the surface, change is quietly at work. Just as no river holds the same water twice, no emotion stays unchanged. What weighs heavily on your heart today will feel lighter with time. What pains you now may later bloom into compassion or wisdom. This is anicca, the truth of impermanence. Nothing in this world stands still. All things arise and fall away. And this is not just philosophy. It's a truth you can see if you look with clear eyes. Remember those sleepless nights of the past, the heartbreak that once seemed unending, the choices that filled you with dread. Where are they now? Some have healed. Some have softened into memory. Some have vanished altogether. In the same way, what burdens you today will one day be a chapter you have outgrown. Our mistake is that we treat what is temporary as if it will define us forever. We let passing discomfort shape our identity. We believe, this is who I am now, when in truth, we have always grown, always healed, always found our way back to peace. The mind, in its panic, forgets that time keeps flowing, and so does healing, often quietly, beneath our awareness. No storm rages forever. Night always gives way to dawn. Even the fiercest winds must one day fall still, and so will your heart. Worry loses its power when you see it not as a cage, but as a visitor. one that comes, stays for a time, and moves on. There is no need to resist it. There is no need to fear its presence. Simply watch it, breathe, and let it pass. Like the monk who sits beneath a tree, watching the wind play through the branches, you can stay rooted. Let the storm come and go, knowing that this too is only a moment in a much larger story. You don't need to solve it all right now. You don't need every answer today. Remember this, all things pass, not because you force them to, but because that is their nature. Worry fades when you trust in impermanence. Fear softens when you see your anxious thoughts for what they are, passing clouds in the vast sky of your awareness. You are not your fear. You are not your worry. You are the sky, steady, spacious, and untouched by the weather. And when you remember that, you no longer dread the storm. You simply wait, knowing it will always, always clear. 4. The more you resist worry, the stronger it becomes. There's a quiet truth that often goes unnoticed in our struggle with suffering. Whatever you resist, you feed with energy. The harder you push against an emotion, trying to silence it, deny it, or force it away, the more it takes root in your life. And nowhere is this more true than with worry. When you tell yourself, "I must not feel anxious," or "I need this worry to stop now," you're not finding peace. You're creating an inner argument. The mind becomes a battlefield, and as Buddhist wisdom teaches, true peace can never arise in the middle of a war with yourself. Think of the mind like a still pond. When left undisturbed, the water is calm, clear, and reflective. But when stirred with judgment, rejection, or resistance, it grows cloudy and restless. We've been conditioned to run from what is uncomfortable, to drown out fear with distraction, busyness, noise. Yet all this does is push the worry deeper into the shadows of the mind, where it waits and gathers strength. You cannot outrun your own mind. Anxiety cannot be escaped by pretending it doesn't exist. What we resist doesn't vanish. It lingers, waiting for the moment we finally turn to face it. And the longer we run, the more weary we become. The Buddhist path offers a different way. Instead of battling your worry, you learn to observe it. Instead of pushing it away, you meet it with gentleness. Picture yourself looking out at a passing storm. You don't shout at the clouds or demand the rain stop falling. You watch. You wait. You understand that no storm lasts forever, and soon it will move on. This is how we can learn to be with the inner storms of the heart. Through mindful awareness, we practice the art of seeing our thoughts and feelings without clinging, without pushing. We don't label worry as bad. We don't try to replace it with forced positivity. We simply notice it, like noticing a breeze or a shadow drifting across the ground. And in this watching, the worry begins to loosen its grip. The fear starts to dissolve, not because we fought it, but because we truly saw it for what it was. A temporary ripple in the vast sea of our mind. Often, what we call worry is not some enemy to defeat. It is a part of us, longing to be seen, to be heard. The mind worries because it remembers past pain and wants to protect us, though it may not know how. When we meet worry with hostility, we create inattention. But when we meet it with kindness, curiosity, and compassion, space opens up. And in that space, the worry softens. Letting go of resistance doesn't mean we give ourselves over to fear. It means we stop fueling it with our struggle. We stop identifying with it. We stop making it the center of who we are. Instead, we begin a new relationship with our thoughts, one where we listen, breathe, and respond with wisdom. So when the wave of anxiety rises, don't fight, don't flee. Simply acknowledge, this is worry. I can feel it. I can breathe with it. I don't have to fear it. Because the moment we stop resisting what is, we return to the simple reality of now, the breath, the body, the stillness beneath the noise. The path to peace is not in conquering fear, but in no longer being afraid of it. When we stop turning worry into the enemy, we take away its reason to fight back. Like a rope burning our hands, the harder we pull, the deeper the pain. But when we release our grip, not in defeat, but in wisdom, the suffering begins to ease. Worry only thrives in a mind desperate to control what it cannot grasp. But the moment we replace control with awareness, trust, and compassion, the storm begins to quiet. Not because we forced it to, but because we no longer needed to. 5. At the root of worry lies attachment. If you look beneath the surface of your worries, beneath the racing thoughts, beneath the tightness in your chest, you will often find a single thread that holds it all together: attachment. In the Buddhist way of seeing, attachment isn't about the genuine love or care we feel for others. It's not the same as connection or kindness. Attachment is the tightening of the heart, the grasping of the mind that says, "I must have this. Things must go this way, or I cannot be at peace." It is this desperate clinging that gives birth to suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering, and nowhere is this clearer than in worry. We worry because we are holding too tightly to people, to outcomes, to ideas of who we think we must be. I need this job, or my life will fall apart. I can't bear it if this person leaves. If I fail, I'll lose all respect. The tighter we cling, the more fragile we feel, because deep down, we know nothing stays the same. Life is not a fixed path carved in stone. It is a river, ever shifting, ever changing, beyond our full control. When we cling to a single rock in that river, trying to hold life still, we suffer. Our grip turns the natural uncertainty of life into unbearable tension. Worry grows from this resistance, from our refusal to trust the flow. But here is the gentle truth. We can care without clinging. We can love without trying to possess. We can dream without chaining our joy to the outcome. The path of Buddhism invites us not to stop caring, but to hold life with open hands, to cherish without control. Picture a butterfly resting on your palm. If you squeeze too hard, you harm it. If you fearfully try to trap it, you lose its beauty. But if you simply let it be, resting lightly in your hand, you can admire its delicate wings without trying to own it. This is how life is meant to be held. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean giving up on what matters. It means discovering that your peace doesn't depend on bending the world to your will. Your peace grows from how you meet the world as it is. The love isn't what hurts. The goal isn't what wounds. It is the fear of losing them, the belief that without them, you are empty, that brings the pain. When you loosen the grip of attachment, you don't stop loving. You begin to love with wisdom. You see that life's beauty lies in its dance of change, not in trying to freeze it. You find strength not by controlling every wave, but by building an inner calm that no wave can shake. This is not a sudden shift. It is a practice, a gentle returning. You notice when you're clinging and you soften. You feel the tightness and you breathe. You choose awareness over control, presence over possession. And in time, your heart learns a freer way of being. Not tight, not afraid, but open, steady, and at ease. So when worry rises, you can ask softly, "What am I so afraid to lose?" And then ask, "Who might I be if I let this go?" The answer is simple. You would be free. Free because you no longer believe your happiness depends on controlling all that you care about. And in that freedom, worry has no place to take root. There is only space for peace, for joy, for life to unfold in its own perfect, mysterious way. 6. Peace is not a prize you win. It is a practice you choose. Many of us carry a quiet illusion deep inside. I'll finally feel peaceful once everything in my life falls into place. We imagine that peace will bloom when our problems vanish, when our relationships are flawless, when our bank account is full, when our future feels certain, and when everyone treats us with kindness. We keep waiting for life to align just right. as if calm is a treasure we can only claim at the end of struggle. But this is the mind's trick. The truth is, life is always moving. The winds of change never stop. If you wait for the storm to pass before you learn how to be still, you will spend your whole life waiting. Buddhism offers us a different way of seeing. Peace is not some distant reward that comes once the world quiets down. Peace is a discipline, a practice of the heart. It is something we nurture right in the middle of life's uncertainty, discomfort, and messiness. It is not handed to us by ease. It is built by how we meet what is difficult. When you tie your peace to perfect circumstances, you give away your power. You become a leaf blown about by the winds of life. If someone speaks harshly, your calm crumbles. If plans fall apart, you fall with them. Your inner state becomes fragile, shaped by every passing emotion, every unpredictable event. But peace rooted in mindful awareness is different. It doesn't rely on the world behaving as you wish. It grows from how you relate to whatever arises. Can you stay steady when things shake? Can you come home to your breath when your mind races? Can you show tenderness to yourself even when fear visits? Peace is not a destination at the end of some perfect path. It is a choice, a small, gentle choice made over and over, especially when it feels hardest. When anxiety tightens your chest, you choose to return to your breath. When things don't go as planned, you choose acceptance over resistance. When someone triggers you, you choose to pause rather than react. And with each of these choices, humble and repeated, your inner landscape begins to change. Imagine your peace like a garden. If you plant seeds and walk away, hoping they'll thrive on their own, you'll return to find weeds. But if you tend the soil, water the roots, and gently pull the weeds of distraction and judgment, peace begins to bloom. Not because life's weather is perfect, but because you cared enough to keep returning. There will be days when peace feels distant. That's natural. Buddhist wisdom never asks us to be calm every moment. Instead, it invites us to bring compassion to our struggles, our imperfections, and our humanness. You don't need to be peaceful all the time to live a peaceful life. What matters is that you know your way back, that you stop chasing peace as something out there and begin choosing it right here. You stop waiting for life to be easy and begin discovering the quiet refuge of this moment. And in this moment, if you breathe, if you soften, if you open your eyes to what's here, peace will greet you. It lives in the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of the wind through the trees, the rhythm of your breath, the stillness beneath your thoughts. It lives in your acceptance of what is. Peace was never waiting at the finish line. It was never hiding behind achievement or control or certainty. It has always been with you, like a gentle friend, like a soft light, quietly waiting for you to remember, to choose, to practice, again and again. Worry will still come knocking. Fear may still arise, but they will no longer stay. They will no longer rule, because peace was never something to earn. It was the home inside you, waiting for your return. 7. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. There is a quiet wisdom at the heart of Buddhist teachings, a truth so simple, yet so powerful, it can change the way you walk through life. You are not your thoughts. You are not your fears. You are not your worries. You are the awareness that sees them come and go. And the moment you remember this, you begin to unlock a freedom that no circumstance can take away. Most of us move through the world as if every thought we have is truth, as if every anxious whisper in the mind is a warning we must obey. A fearful image flashes through your mind, and your heart races as though it's already happening. The mind mutters, "You're not enough," and you carry that weight as if it were carved in stone. But here's the great misunderstanding. Your thoughts are not you. Your worries are not you. The mind is like a storyteller, weaving tales to protect you, to prepare you, to make sense of things. But like a storyteller, It doesn't always tell the truth. Some thoughts are wise. Many are echoes of old fears. Many are just noise. You are not the noise. You are the one who hears it. Buddhist wisdom calls this non-identification, the art of seeing thoughts as passing clouds in the vast sky of your awareness. Your mind has been trained, by years of habit, by culture, by experience, to scan for threats, to anticipate danger, to solve problems before they even exist. Worry is not a sign of weakness. It's a pattern your mind has learned. But patterns can be seen. And once they are seen, they can loosen their grip. Picture your mind like a stage. Thoughts come and go like actors playing their parts. Some make you laugh. Some bring tears. Some stir up fear. But you are not the actor. You are the audience, quietly watching. And the moment you stop stepping onto the stage, the moment you stop getting caught in the drama, peace begins to rise. When worry appears, you don't have to argue with it. You don't need to silence it or fix it. You simply notice it. Worry is visiting again. And in that noticing, you create space. Space between the thought and your reaction. Space between the fear and your next step. And in that space, your freedom lives. This is not a cold or distant way of being. It is not about becoming numb. In fact, it's the opposite. You begin to feel deeply without drowning. You begin to care without clinging. You see the storm without becoming the storm. You remember that no matter how wild the weather, the sky remains open, quiet, and vast. And yes, at first, this may feel hard. When fear rises, it feels all-consuming. When doubt speaks, it feels true. But with practice, gentle, patient practice, you remember more quickly. I am not this thought. I am the space it passes through. This practice does not ask you to fight your mind. It invites you to befriend it, to see its stories, its worries, its plans, and to greet them with compassion, not resistance. Because resistance fuels the fire. Awareness cools it. The next time worry knocks at your door, place your hand on your heart. Breathe. And remind yourself, this is a passing thought. I am not this fear. I am the witness, not the storm. Feel the space open inside you. Feel the calm that was always there, waiting beneath the noise. This is where real life begins, not in solving every problem, but in stepping back from the need to solve everything. Not in controlling the world, but in learning to stay present with it. The Buddha did not promise us a life free of challenges. He offered us a path through them, a path of seeing clearly, of responding wisely, of finding peace not after the storm, but right in the heart of it. And so, each time you notice your mind pulling you into worry, gently return. Return to your breath. Return to your body. Return to the here and now. Not with force, not with frustration, but with kindness, with trust, with the quiet confidence that this too is part of the practice. Every time you return, you strengthen your freedom. Every time you pause, you grow your peace. Every breath is a new beginning. And the more you live from this space of awareness, the less control worry has over you. You begin to respond, not react. You begin to flow, not force. You begin to see that you were never your thoughts. You were always the sky that holds it all, the sky that never breaks, the sky that waits patiently, quietly, for you to remember who you really are. Conclusion. As you sit quietly for a moment, take a slow, steady breath. Feel the air filling your lungs, grounding you in the here and now. Remember this: you are not your worry, not your fear, not your racing thoughts. You are the awareness behind it all, steady and vast, untouched by the passing storms of the mind. The peace you've been searching for has never been far. It has always lived within you, waiting for you to come home to it. Life will continue to change. Challenges will come. Thoughts will rise and fall. But now you hold a simple, powerful truth. You don't need to control everything to feel calm. You only need to return, again and again, to this present moment. That is where real peace begins. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we can walk this path of mindfulness and inner freedom. Share in the comments, what worry or thought are you ready to release today? I look forward to hearing your reflections. Subscribe, like, and join this journey of presence and clarity. Each step, each breath is a return to the life you were meant to live.